Once upon a time there lived a noble gentleman who had one dear little daughter. Poor child. Her own kind mother was dead, and her father, who loved her very dearly, was afraid that his little girl was sometimes lonely. So he married a grand lady who had two daughters of her own, and who, he thought, would be kind and good to his little one. But no sooner did the stepmother enter her new home than she began to show her true character. Her stepdaughter was so much prettier and sweeter than her own children that she was jealous of her and gave her all the hard work of the house to do, whilst the two proud sisters spent their time at pleasant parties and entertainments. The only pleasure the poor child had was to spend her evenings sitting in the chimney corner, resting her weary limbs, and for this reason, her sisters mockingly nicknamed her Cinderella. The sisters' fine clothes made Cinderella feel very shabby. But in her little torn frock and ragged shoes, she was 1,000 times more lovely than they. Now it chanced that the king's son gave a grand ball, to which he invited all the lords and ladies in the country. And amongst the rest, Cinderella's two sisters were asked. How pleased and excited they were when the invitation arrived. For days they could talk of nothing but the clothes they should wear and the grand folk they hoped to meet. When at last the great day arrived, Cinderella was kept running about from early till late, decking the sisters and dressing their hair. "Don't you wish you were going to the ball?" said one of them. "Indeed I do," sighed the poor little maid. The sisters burst out laughing. "A pretty spectacle you would be," they said rudely. "Go back to your cinders, they are fit company for rags." Then, stepping carefully into their carriage so that they might not crush their fine clothes, they drove away to the ball. Cinderella went back to her chimney corner and tried not to feel envious, but the tears would gather in the pretty eyes and trickle down the sorrowful little face. "What are you crying for, child?" cried a silvery voice. Cinderella started and raised her eyes. Who could it be? Then in a moment she knew it was her fairy godmother.